team. I thought we played really well. Obviously, Texas A&M is a good team. Coming into this game, I think they've been outshot twice this season. One in a game at Vanderbilt, and then the other time against us early in the season. They're athletic, they're organized, they're scrappy, they're competitive. We didn't get any real great, clean looks, right, consistently, but obviously an individual moment of brilliance from Jordynn. Obviously a phenomenal flick on from Beata, right? That becomes kind of a little bit of a 50-50 ball, and she gets a little glance on it and then gets on to Dudley, and somehow she juggles that ball about 3 or 4 times off her shoulder and maybe her chest and her head, and then brings it down and calmly finishes. So a big time play, big time moment. Would have been nice to get another one and kind of put the game away, but we got to use a lot of bodies tonight, and I think we'll be in a good place come Sunday from a freshness standpoint.
It seemed like it was a physical game throughout. It seemed like it rose a little bit more in the second half. Did you see, the intensity, shift a little bit more in the second half, or I guess what was the adjustment like in just dealing with that?
I think it's just, they're a good team. Like I said, they're athletic, they're competitive, they play in a competitive conference, and both team seasons are on the line. So a group of 22 women at one time are on the field and trying and dying to win. So unsurprised by that.
Jordynn, can you talk about your goal, just creating that opportunity?
Well, like he said, it was a great flick on by Beata, and I knew she was going to get on it. She always does. So I was anticipating it, and then, I don't really know, I just tried to get it around the player, and it worked, and then saw the keeper out and tried to place it where she wasn't.
Christina, you had 5 saves today. They got some good shots on goals, and you got serenaded a couple times with fans chanting your name. What was the game like for you today?
Obviously it was a bit hectic by the end of it, and like Brian said, both teams' seasons are on the line, so obviously that's known going into the game, but I'm just so proud of this team and how this game can become an emotional game sometimes, and I'm glad that we didn't let it get to our heads a little bit too much. So I think at the end of the day, I'm just super proud of them and ready to move on.
Jordynn, was the yellow card for dissent?
Oh, you did get it. I think she just was talking to me.
Is it hard to keep those emotions in check when you're battling like that, or?
Been doing it a while, so.
It's hard. They went to the VAR because her hair was pulled, and so whether it was Jordynn's mouth that is responding in that moment, right, or her pushing a kid off, I understand and respect that want to defend herself, and we want to defend her. And unfortunately, the VAR didn't work because it was blurry, and so they couldn't get a good view of it, right? But it's frustrating to have your hair pulled repeatedly throughout this season, right? And to Christina's comment, she had to change her whole uniform, 3 minutes before the game. Texas A&M, right, had disrespected some of our players. One player who suffered a season-ending injury at their place early in the season, and then that was an official we'd seen before, and then they were a competitive team, and so there were reasons, like Christina's kind of hinting at, for us to potentially come undone a little bit, right? And especially in a heated game with so much on the line. And as she alluded to, our team was calm, right? Intense, but stayed the course and won the game. We easily could have come undone, but amazing leadership and composure. And we started having conversations like this in the spring, that when things get hard, that's how this team will be defined. And we were tested a lot in early games this season, starting in when you go to ACC play, and all of a sudden, 15 minutes into your ACC season, you're down 2-0, and that's adversity. And our team has responded throughout, and they did that tonight once again.
Christina, you're one of the veteran players here on the roster here. Have you been in game situations like this before that Brian just described? And I guess how do you go about handling it, where some elements coming into the game that you're not really expecting at the time?
Yeah, I mean, every tournament it seems like there's always emotions in there, whether it's from a ref or it's just within. I think just overall, just having each other's backs, knowing that like maybe Jordynn gets into a scuffle, like Jody will probably be behind her no matter what. So I think just having that type of team connection and being able to grind out every single game, because that's what it is. This tournament's just a grind. I mean, that's just kind of the way each game kind of turns out.
Coach, Jordan's risen to the occasion really all season. You're probably not surprised to see it again tonight. What can you say about, how well she's hit the ground running this season?
No pun intended. Yeah, she's a talent, and she showed signs of it early in the season, but obviously she was playing as a winger and far from goal, and she needs to be inside the width of the penalty area. And you go back to that game against Carolina, we went to a 2-front, and it was a little bit of even though she had been good. I mean, I think what was it, the Miami game, or maybe South Florida, right, where she carried the ball about 75 yards and scored the opening goal, right? So we had seen it, but then at Carolina, right, on that stage on national TV, she was the best player on the field and scored 2 goals. And a little bit of a official coming out party, and she hasn't been wide since, and she stayed close to goal, and teams have to deal with her. And then what's amazing is you've got Ekagini, and you've got Jody Brown, and you've got Beata, and you've got Taylor, and many others. Lay coming from deep. This game and all of sports, it's about having a lot of weapons, and we have a lot of weapons.
Christina and Coach, funny how the cards play out. You guys get a former player, and me, I get to play next round Sunday. Have you guys talked to Mia before she got here? Because obviously you have a connection. What's that been like?
Yeah, we did get to see her. Obviously, we love her to death, but at the end of the day, we're gonna have to treat it like every other game. Yeah, it's just funny how that turns out.
What stands out to you about Texas, Brian?
Obviously, they have 2 players in Missimo and Byers that have scored a lot of goals and assisted a lot of goals. So certainly we have to keep those 2 at bay. And then they're athletic in other parts of the field and skillful. And then, Mia's a good goalkeeper. And her feet are really good. Her range of passing is really good. So those are the things that we really need to kind of be focused on and key on. But, I don't know the exact percentages in terms of the totality of their goals. But I know those 2 have combined for, I believe, 44 goals and I think 33 assists this year. That is about 13 more goals than their opponent scored today. They're good players, right? So we gotta figure out how we're gonna deal with them.
Anything else?